Alright guys, so it's finally time to talk about the Counterfeit Sebenza here. I have a genuine classic Sebenza here with the micarta inlays. Just for comparison, overall this is supposed to mimic a small Sebenza. And you know, I gave this a lot of thought. I was going to do a full review on this, and ultimately I decided not to. This is just going to be a video just talking candidly about my experiences with this. I didn't buy this knife, and I had a viewer send it to me to use, and I did agree to use it and give my honest opinion on it. And to cut through all the BS and all of the ethics aside, this is a good knife for the money. This really is worth what they sell for. Okay, but that being said, I don't support it. I can't support it. I won't recommend it. I'm not going to give you specifications on this knife. I'm not going to tell you where you can buy this or how much it costs. I'm just going to tell you my experience with it, okay, as promised to the person who sent it. Now, I will show you just a couple differences. First, let's open it up, all right, and compare it to the real Sebenza. Okay, just in opening it, you could feel it right away. If you have experience with real Sebenza, you're not going to be fooled with thinking this is the real deal. Now, this is a $400 knife. Obviously, they range anywhere. Well, let's say you can get a small Sebenza, I guess, for $330, plain Jane, you know, model. So let's say $330 on this knife, and let's just say, just for reference, 40 bucks. You know, it really just depends on where you're getting these things, okay? They're not the same price, all right? They're nowhere near the same price. They're in different realms, okay? But this obviously mimics this design almost to a T. There are minute differences between them, which we'll go over in a moment here. But I don't think it's gonna fool anyone. If you do your homework and you know, okay, let's say you don't know anything about knives, but you keep hearing this word Sebenza, Sebenza, Chris Reeve, you know, Sebenza. And you're like, you know what, I gotta look this up. People are saying these are great knives, you gotta look it up. And you go on, you find them, you know, for 300 bucks, 400 bucks, and so forth. And you're like, yeah, that's expensive. You know, I hope they're good knives. But then you find one for 25 bucks or 30 bucks online. And you go, wow, what a deal. It should really dawn on you that that's probably not real, okay? But, you know, not everyone is going to think that. Or maybe when you go to research this word Sebenza that you learn, maybe you don't see that they're $400. Maybe the first result page that you find is this one right here for $49.99, okay, from some Chinese website. And you say, yeah, I got to check it out. So those are the people that could be duped. Anyone who's learned anything about, you know, these knives, you're going to know that a deal is $25 less than new, you know, 50 bucks less than new, maybe, if you're really lucky. You're not going to find something, you know, for a fifth of the price or a tenth of the price. You have to use a little bit of common sense here. But let's just say you don't know much about it. You hear you got to, you know, this knife's a great knife. You find it online, you find it for a cheap price, whatever, and you do get this. You know, that's unfortunate. And that's why I'm so against counterfeits. Now, my definition of a counterfeit is a knife that has a logo or information on it that is not truthful. Okay, in this case, this has the Chris Reeve logo, and it is not made by Chris Reeve, so therefore it's a counterfeit. Sometimes these counterfeits, all brands, Benchmade, Spyderco, whatever, sometimes they'll say S30V in the blade when it's not, you know, and all this different information that is faulty. And the main goal here is to make you think that it is real and to buy it. Now, to be honest, if this company, instead of selling this for 40 bucks, if they put a $300 price tag on there or $280 or something, it would be more realistic. You know, thank God they don't. But, you know, when you see something that's too good to be true, it usually is. And when you're talking about knives, it's almost always the case. I get this constantly about the Benchmade Model 42 Battle Song. Completely unrelated to this video, but people say, you know, they'll send messages, hey, I found a 42 online, always wanted them, finally found one for 30 bucks. Is it real? No. It's not. I don't even need to click on the link and look at it. If it's $30, it's fake. Okay, you'd have to, it's like winning the lottery if you happen to find someone who doesn't know what they have and they have a real one that they're selling for 30 bucks at a garage sale. That might happen once in a lifetime, you know, but to find it on a Chinese website somewhere for $29.99, it's not going to happen. You have to use a little common sense here. But anyway, let's just compare these real quick and look at them. The first thing I wanted to say was just when you open it, it's completely different. The real Sebenza is just so smooth. It's like walking on wet glass. And that lockup, you can hear that lockup. Beautiful. The fake one, or counterfeit one, it opens smooth. Don't get me wrong, it's not like gritty or anything, it's smooth. But it ain't that smooth, all right? And the lockup, just a little bit different. All right, and even closing it, listen to how this closes. As compared to the real one. Now, in this case, we're talking about titanium and S30V. Okay, titanium handles, S30V blade. Doesn't matter what the blade is in here, because frankly, I don't even know what it is. Probably a 440A, maybe a 440C if we're lucky. But this is definitely stainless. It's heavier. I mean, I could just personally tell from handling so many different knives, but even if you couldn't, go by the weight. You know what I mean? Find out what the real weight is of this knife and compare it with your fake one. You know, if you want to know if it's real or not. But yeah, it's just different. It's just very different how it feels. Now, that being said, this locks up great. This thing locks up just as good as the real one. Okay? No blade play in any direction. Not even, you know, the slightest of wiggles. Same with this. And both these knives do get used. All right, so the lockup is phenomenal. Let's take a look at that. They're both frame locks here. The lockup is very, very similar. The one giveaway with this one, well, the price obviously, but a bigger giveaway too, or I shouldn't actually say a bigger one, it's a more minute detail. All right, you can see this one's centered very nicely, but look at the blade to handle ratio. That blade goes all the way down, almost to the very bottom of that handle here, okay? As compared with the counterfeit one. Okay, let's put this one on top and compare them. It almost looks stubby in comparison. Okay. Let's see what else. You know, the performance on this is very good, and that's why I say it really sucks that they ruined it by throwing on that fake logo there and having such an identical design. If you took off that logo and you changed the handle shape just a little bit, you'd have a different knife. Okay, obviously in the knife community, the knife industry in general, there's hundreds, if not thousands of knives from all different people, from all different companies and all different price ranges that look very similar. Okay, identical is not acceptable, but similar is accepted quite often. Those I consider copies. Okay, if this handle flared out a little bit, maybe if the cutout wasn't here, maybe if the top wasn't so, you know, similarly shaped, that arrowhead type deal, you know, you do little changes here and there, and then all of a sudden it's considered a copy, not a counterfeit, you know, or an identical copy. That changes things, and that really sucks, because if they didn't have the logo on here and it was a little bit different, I'd recommend it. I really would. As a counterfeit Sebenza, it's a piece of crap, and honestly I want to throw it in the garbage just because of the ethics that are involved here. But from you know, ethics aside, from a non-biased opinion, it's a great little working knife. You know what I mean? It actually holds a fantastic edge. I want to say it's on par with a really good AUS 8, you know, in its performance, its cutting performance, but it's held a very decent edge. The blade grind goes all the way down. It's just, you know, the grinds itself are nice on here. It's got a nice acute point on here. It's nice. You know, for the money, it's nice. It's not Sebenza nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nowhere near this in its performance. But it's a damn shame because it's a good little knife. And I really do like it. So what it comes down to here is it is a good knife. It is worth the money that they charge for them. It is also not recommended or suggested by myself to get this knife because it's only going to support the counterfeiters. So I'd stay away from this one and start looking up some other knives in the similar price range, because there's lots of options out there, guys. You know, if you're one of the people that want to get a Sebenza but can't afford it, your options are: number one, you don't get a Sebenza, or number two, you sacrifice and save up for one. It's that simple. There's no middle ground. You can't get something like this and just pretend like you do have a Sebenza, even to show off to your friends, or, you know, whatever reason you want to have a fake one or a counterfeit one. It's just not worth it. You know what I mean? There's so many other knives in the price range that are just as good, if not better. It's just not worth your time. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I thank you very much for watching, and I want to send a thank you out to the person who sent this so I can do this video and I can check this out for everyone. You know, it's much appreciated. So that's all. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.